All right, we'll call the December Village Board meeting to order. It's 4:30, and I will ask trustee Root to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Got his attention.
All right, let's start with the approval. It's okay. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on November 20th and our special meeting held last week on the 28th. Any addition or correction to those minutes?
There was, I should have made a note of it, but I can't find it out, but it was during our discussion about the extending the sewer line up the Route 9 Bolton Road when Dan
Oh,
was there.
right.
Julie wrote plant, like building a new plant, but it really was just extending the sewer line. So she just.
Okay.
So I know most people read that, understand the town's not building a new sewer plant up there,
No,
but
they might uphill the pump station, but not a sewer.
yeah, so that just a minor thing.
Minor. Okay.
I feel like this is here. Can we just talk about, so I understand better the standard workday hours, so we all know what it's at.
Well, that's
It's not changing, so it says,
not here yet.
no, you were talking about that on the previous regular meeting,
Oh.
held on November 20th.
Yeah,
I think she had said that we were talking about bringing it down to 1 to 2 hours, but we have to say it's 6 hours per standard day. For
According to state.
the date,
right, but you're not a full-time employee.
right, but that's what it says in the last meeting. So are we just keeping it at 6 hours standard workday for trustees?
Towards the retirement system.
Towards the- yeah,
That's
if-
what Danae said, it's a standard 6 hour
Okay,
is all we could get.
You could only work 6 hours.
Well, we
okay,
can
so
only
it's
be,
like up to.
It's up to,
you can only gather
yeah,
that time accrual
right.
up 6 hours a day.
Like I was a trustee for 4 terms and I have a year and a half in the state
Right.
retirement system.
So it's not like, we're not gonna get in trouble for
No.
not here.
No, no, no,
That's
no,
like
no.
physically with another job, I don't think.
Yeah,
any
no,
of us-
no,
Nobody
no, no,
could.
no. It's
Nobody
not a
could.
standard work day. It's only to go into retirement.
Okay,
That's all you're gonna be able to be compensated for is up to 6 hours.
okay. So
So.
then are we
that's the
changing,
max.
are we changing yours? Cause I feel like in the code, you are either 35 hours or 40 hours a week, so then the standard workday would be 7 or 8.
Well, it would
Or do you
be,
just wanna keep it at 6?
I would keep it at 6 only
Okay.
because in the evening, those speaking engagements I go to, I mean,
Yeah,
life is a billable hour, so if I have to go to a dinner I don't want to go to just because somebody wants me to speak, I would think I should be compensated for it, so I don't want it to be detracted from my day to day. I mean, I still put in 50 hours a week, easy.
Sure.
So I'm never really concerned with
okay.
doing that. The only thing I don't want to do is punch a clock.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much as, I don't, if I understood what Danae had said to me today when I asked about it.
I'm gonna start the,
It's
are we on
not,
there? Oh, the camera. Sorry.
it's not so much the actual in and out that you hear. It's what you can be billed up to. And like they max you out
Okay.
at, I think, 35 hours.
Okay.
Yes,
As long
that's
as
what,
we're
the way
not
it was
breaking any
explained,
Yes.
rules with that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
the
Okay.
way it was
Yeah,
explained.
that's not, Ray was changed, mayor's was changed
Okay.
by our law.
Right,
the
that was
village
done
law.
in the, I want to say late
Trustees are still
eighties,
followed
early
by the
nineties.
Okay, all right. Cool.
All right, so
Approval of the minutes.
approval of the minutes. So we,
Except for John's
except for
changes.
my old change from John, can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Seconded by trustee Root, made by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Monthly reports from the sanitation department.
Just a minute, can we move on?
Hmm?
The special minutes, so trustee Joe was not at the special minutes.
Oh, you'd have to
so I would-
abstain.
You abstain. for the
So
special.
if we did them separately, he could vote on the
I was here
regular,
on
but
the
not on the
last.
special.
The Monday meeting was here.
It's
Yeah,
the
he was-
November 28th one.
November
that he
28th.
If you're
doesn't-
talking,
We don't have the Monday meeting on here yet.
oh,
Last Monday. Right, we don't have
Right,
it on.
so
Oh, I
then
have that
abstain from the,
on the agenda as special minutes. the
From the
28th?
28th, so it was not this past. We did a,
November 28th, yeah.
Yeah, so he just has to.
we just met on
abstain.
the 11th is the one she's saying.
you're
So do
right,
you want to do a second one or just abstain
Well,
from both of them?
is the 11th on there?
It's not on there.
Just the 20th and 28th.
Right, so I can vote on those two, but if we're gonna put in the 11th, add it to that.
No, you weren't on the 28th.
You were here for the 11th.
You weren't here
Oh,
on the
right,
28th.
right, right, 11th. right.
So we
Okay.
can take them separately or you can just abstain.
Abstain from
Okay.
11th,
Well,
Whether
the
from-
the
28th.
28th,
Any of them. Just abstain from both. It'll be quicker.
okay.
We don't need the votes. Okay, monthly reports from sanitation department, planning and zoning, rec center. Superintendent of Public Works, Caldwell Sewer District, Fire Department, and Director of Special Events have all been, will be provided for anyone in attendance. Should they would like copies free of charge. So we got a letter from Joe Russo, who wanted, resident parking waiver. I will take it under my own speed to get back to Mr. Russo and explain to him that that won't be necessary. For him to spend $20 to walk his dog. So I don't think we need to discuss that much further. I think we all know the drill. And now resolutions, if everybody's okay with me moving on.
Sure.
Okay, Mountain Medical Annual Contract. What's that about? Is that the
Drug.
Hermana?
That is the drug and alcohol screening program.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so that's, yeah, we've been contracting with them quite some time. I don't think it's increased, not much, 10 or more, 150. It looks the same as last year. And the Humana insurance renewal, I believe, is for our retirees.
Correct.
And
And that went up, I think, $2 per premium for them.
So they pay. That's what I was wondering what that was.
Retirees pay based on how longevity and when they started. So if you started retired in 1988 and you had 30 years of service in and retired from the New York State Retirement Service, you were at 5%. Employees who started after 1988 and still had the same amount pay 15%.
So what we're gonna pay, they're gonna pay 202, so what we pay would be different.
No,
every
so
single
it'll,
person.
certain retirees will pay 5% of that, other retirees will pay 15, and then we have one that pays 25 because they didn't have 30 years in.
Okay,
But it's tiered based on our vestation program, so
so it's 202 total?
yes, that's the premium for individual per month, and then they only have to pay whatever they retired at.
Part B.
Part B,
yeah,
right,
This
it's
is
a-
a great plan for 200.
No, it's Part B.
it's part B though, it's not.
It's a Medicare supplemental
Yeah.
program
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Don't get too excited. Part B.
You have to be 65. so
Yeah, yeah.
I can't get
I've
it.
never done
No.
it, just give it a shot.
Um,
And Jose.
so I will take these all in one,
Oh.
motion if we're going to, so if
Nope.
you want to bear that in mind.
Oh, I
Let's
definitely-
get through it.
Okay.
Keith would like to standardize to Grundfos pumps. Go ahead, explain a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, they're the chemical pumps, for the water treatment plant. We've had, the ones we've had formerly for over almost 24 years now. Beta was the brand, they're basically dinosaurs at this point, can't get parts, so on and so forth. Grundfos is some of you may know the
Mhm.
manufacturer.
Circulators.
Yeah, and, so we have 9 that we are gonna be looking to swap out probably within the course of the next 2 years. Hopefully that some of the other ones will stay with us here. So they're on the average, they're about $2,300 a pump. But again, we'll be getting more than 20 years out of each pump, you know, that kind of thing. So, we can't make water if we can't pump chemicals, that's, you know, move the water production. So we just didn't want to go to, there's 300 different manufacturers. We actually had 2 Grundfos pumps in the past that in the more immediate past. And they're working great. They're sealed. we're satisfying our obligation with the DEC as far as having any possibility of leaks, because they're sealed units, as opposed to the former beta pumps. So we're ahead of the game with the DEC on that part, and Department of Health as well. So, we wanted to standardize, so we don't have to keep getting quotes and all that kind of stuff. And we all feel in the water department that this is the best tool for us to focus on buying them in the future.
Support the Empire State's economic or development of a cellular specific point person. This was the Adirondack Association, the towns and villages asking for our support.
This is the one I want to pull out.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
I just feel like we don't know enough about this to support it. So I actually went through and read what they are basing it off of. I tried to read as much of it as I could. The ESD's Upstate Cellular Coverage Task Force final report.
Mhm.
It seems like it would be relatively expensive. Like the estimated investment of doing something like this is what they're talking about. It's $610 million. And they would think that would be a combo of like private and public funding. So again, I just feel like we need to know more about it. And then even like the information, just as me reading it, it seems like the cell coverage that they're talking about, which is missing, is LTE coverage.
Long-term evolution.
Right, which is like you could still talk to someone on your cell phone, but you're not going to have internet. So I don't know how much of this is actually like internet versus cell coverage. Before we support like having like high, big
Well,
cellular towers in the Adirondack Park.
that's not necessarily what it's about. It's about the regulations and loopholes that you have to jump
The
over and
sustainability
through.
and feasibility,
Yeah.
Which,
So it's always been notoriously difficult to get a cell tower in the APA. And what they're trying to do is identify the need. And it's really not much more confusing than you make it out to. It's not gonna cost us as the taxpayers the money that you're looking at.
it's a 70-page document.
I read it.
I mean, I would like to pull it out just because I don't think that I, at this time, can support something of that nature. Putting cell towers in that are that big over the amount of roads that it's asking versus just trying to work on small. It sounds like it's just, hey, someone wants to get on their cell phone on the road versus like, why are we wanting to do that? Not I feel like,
Safety, public safety.
sure, but it has been that way for a long time. It's
Okay,
the
we'll pull it
Adirondack
out.
Park, Yeah.
We don't need to talk anymore about it.
Yeah.
Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board MS4 program. Keith,
Yeah.
we're all done?
For me,
We all done? Submitted? Everything good?
with.
MS4?
Well, not until, the last date of this year's MS4 is March 9th.
Okay,
So we're creeping up on that now, and so it's kind of like a crunch time for what we have left to do for training and so on. This goes along with Beth Gillis with the Lake George, Lake Champlain Coalition. We're into our last year of 3 years with our current stormwater management plan. They used to, I think it was on the onset, it was 5-year increments that they changed the program. Now they're doing it every 3 years, which is fine, but we utilize Beth and her resources to help out with a lot of things, especially with the DEC, to make some kind of transition smooth between one program and the other program. And there's a cost to that. So they determine what the cost is, and we determine if we're gonna pay it. But it's definitely part of what we've been doing for 13 years now. And it's become a big part of our life.
alrighty. The Verdon Clock Maintenance Agreement. This came up a while back.
I still remember that we decided to avoid that. Just when the clock stops ticking, then we call them. It's
Right, and
$720.
it broke.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
it stopped running?
It broke. I find out after we voted against it. I found this out just the other day that, it broke sometime shortly after we voted against it and we had to call them and it cost us, 1,100
Instead of 700.
instead of 727. I would recommend that
Yeah,
we consider, it's a $15,000 clock.
Uh-huh.
$720 a year to keep it going is,
Well, $720 for one called plan maintenance.
yes.
right.
And
So
we've needed one
how long have we had the clock?
6, 7 years, 8 years.
And we called them once and we spent $1,100. Right?
True. But they do maintenance work.
Well, they were doing maintenance on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I think the first 2 years were free maintenance price,
Oh.
and then it was a pay. But I believe, if I recall, I think we had grant funds for the clock.
But I believe when we built the little pocket park there.
Yes, so we didn't really have a out-of-pocket cost for that, the same, you know, and had everything up for the last 40 years, then I think it is 7 years. So, you guys pretty conscientious that comes and does the work and maintenance on it. I think that's money well spent.
Do you know what he does for the maintenance?
Excuse
Do
me?
you know what he does for the maintenance?
Yes, he has a full report.
Okay, and then okay.
Probably a lot of cleaning and just observation, you know,
Yeah, pretty much, it's, you know,
Years.
lubrication, a lot of moving parts and this and that.
PMs.
So that's all part of that 700? With
Yes.
pace, yeah. Oh, well.
I mean, I want to take care of stuff we got rather than fix it, wait till it breaks and then fix it.
Be right twice a day, right?
You're right twice a day, yes. Fire contract with the town, would remain unchanged from last year. I believe it is an annual contract,
Mhm.
because the numbers of the firehouse debt and the new truck are always going to be changing, but it is the same, agreement that we agreed to last year. The town pays based on calls, which is an incredible deal for us. I spoke about it briefly today with the deputy supervisor and, they're fine with it, staying the same. It would cap at 80%, which they are close to it. They have never achieved 80% of the calls, but they're 76 or 78 or something like that.
Mhm.
So that's how the expenses are laid out, aside from the truck, which is a 50-50 split.
What's the status on that new truck, you know?
We're waiting for them to tell us the chassis is ready to be built. As soon as they start working on it, we'll get that discount by paying, and we have the money for the chassis in the
Budget.
in our money. You gotta let whoever's in.
It's at the door.
Someone was at the door.
No.
But yeah, I would recommend that we sign it. It's a good deal for us. It really is.
Mhm.
And the Caldwell sewer contract is next up for renewal. This is us overseeing their pump station. And the using our vac truck to clean their lines once a year. As we move forward with that, and we get $40,000. It was 37.5, but I believe our equipment is, things have gone up, so we're raising the price of it to 40,000.
I sent Tim an email today. Is there any way that we can go back and just make this a 1-year agreement versus 2? He said he thought it was a very fair agreement, but he just said he would suggest it be only 1 year versus 2 years because you never know next year how much things will cost.
That's true. I
Yeah.
know we want to sign it before the first of the year. And I
Yeah.
don't think we'll be meeting again until after the first of the year. Like the 15th, we are meeting.
we're
So, I mean,
stuck
we-
with that at-
We're not stuck with it, but if you guys want to make a motion that, we'll take them separately now, but want to make a motion that you would like it to be a year.
Yeah,
If everyone's agreement with you, I don't really mind it being 2 years, but I think.
I just
um,
defer to Tim at his.
Yeah,
you know.
if it's Tim's recommendation too, then I
Yeah.
would agree with it, but, so we could take that one out as well.
The town would also have to agree with it.
Town would also have to agree with it, right?
Right.
So, well, if they do, then you would authorize me to sign a 1-year agreement. If the town does not and pushes back, am I authorized to sign a 2-year agreement?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the same for 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
without it increasing, so.
So.
Okay, so someone put that in the form of a motion, as I said, and we'll vote on that first for the Caldwell Sewer contract.
So it's a motion to approve a one-year
For 1
contract,
year.
As long as,
as long as the town of Lake George agrees to 1 year, and if they cannot do a 1 year, we'd agree on a 2 year.
Yeah,
Second.
okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Aye. Okay, so I think I can take the Mountain Medical Annual Contract, the Humana, the Grundfos, the Lake Champlain MS4 program, the clock, and the fire contract in one motion. We have a motion to approve of those.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. And a resolution to support Empire State's development of a cellular specific point person. I'll make the motion to support that. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay.
Nay.
Okay, motion's carried. All right, special event facilities use applications for Wood Park is the Adirondack Wine and Food Festival, Sasha Party. Oh, I did read your email, trustee Miller, and she has analytics like you wouldn't
They
believe.
sent it to me.
Did they? Okay,
Yes.
I know she would. She offered to send it to me
Yeah,
a couple years ago and I took her up on it and just got lost in spreadsheets.
yeah,
But
it's a good. amount
Very
of
thorough,
information, for sure.
and kind of like what you're looking for with other events, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so motion to approve that. I have no problem making that motion. That's a great
Waiving the
event.
fees,
What's that?
Of waiving the fees.
No, request to waive fees for setup and takedown days. Yeah, we did that in the past and they're quick and good about it. They don't leave a mess or anything.
the fee, does Warren County care? Cause they're the ones that get the fees. So if they just said like at your discretion.
That's
waiving-
who she asked originally to, and historically they have.
Okay,
So motion to approve, I made that. I need a second. Or did I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
right.
Aye. Motion's carried. Village events, Winter Carnival and Parade, Nancy Nichols, weekends, February 2024, requesting to waive fees. Now, that is in kind, fee waiving, because they give us our advertisement in their article or in their publication for free, so it's a few years back, they're like, why would, you pay us $1,000 and then we just pay you back $1,000 in fees. It's sort of a one hand washing the other kind of thing in lieu of.
Do we need the advertisement? I'm just looking at it, to me, it feels like we're just advertising everyone's special events. Is that like really our responsibility?
Yes.
Why do you feel it is our
I
responsibility?
feel it is our responsibility because we are our best advocate. And the chamber does do it, but us showing support of a 50-year-old organization that continues to make winters bearable for us is right up our alley to support. And
No, I'm talking about the ad for.
yeah, the advertisement for special events, yeah. Making people aware that we're behind these events and we're supporting them.
Support
Yes.
them.
Yeah,
So, right, it's not really an ad because it's just it is kind of like a contribution, really, by buying the ad.
Yeah.
So really, what I guess your point is we're waiving the fees and we're buying the ad, so really it's not like a even exchange because really we don't garner any benefits out of advertising in their program, but it's been a long-standing tradition, which would be hard to change at this point.
I think so. I agree. Lake George Arts Concert, Tanya Tobias, July 3rd through August 23rd, Wednesdays in the summer. We have waived fees in the past for them. I know that's an issue for a couple of you, but I'm not gonna break tradition. It's the Arts Project. We support them monetarily and
They don't charge.
they don't charge anything. It's free concerts.
Nonprofit, right?
Nonprofit. And playing with Kelly's Angels. Organized by former Mayor Blaze. There is, I believe, an additional day, Debonair?
Yes, so basically what happened was last year, we did it Thursday through Sunday. And a lot of vendors, we had a lot of feedback saying that they did not like doing it on the Thursdays because it was a lot of, they said chaos and they told that to Mayor Blaze. When we set it up this year, I thought we were doing possibly the 4 days or the 3-day option to find out we were only doing the Thursday through Saturday. And then he said that we would have to offer the vendors to have Sunday, and I was like, we can't have vendors in the park without having it be part of an event for our village code. So we are asking to add an additional day to this event. And he did say that he will be in Shepherd Park on Sunday.
He also told me today on Thursday, there will not be vendors.
Yeah, there will not be vendors on Thursday.
Okay,
So basically, if you guys have,
just music.
yes.
Not
just
vendors.
music. So this is what we give to our vendors. This is how they fill out and the money that gets taken in gets sent to them, but this is basically, it lets them know what days they can vend and what hours. And this gives them all the rules that we have within Shepherd Park. So originally the days would have been Thursday through Saturday, but because we switched it, it's Thursday through Sunday, but vendors will only be Friday through Sunday.
What's going on Sunday? Will there be music or, or did we just
It's just vendors
vendors on Sunday?
with Bob there,
But there's music Thursday, Friday and Saturday?
correct?
I don't know if it's worth their while, really, without
Mhm.
music, or
Yeah, I mean, there was
vendors.
so many more events this year than there will be, or this past year than there will be next year.
But it's just one more day that they're set up for and then whatever, they're there.
Yeah,
And there's nothing they can do for one day, so whatever they can probably pick up on Sunday is a benefit to them.
This is on the park side, right?
It's on the
Not
park side.
Civil.
not on the sidewalk. I mean, there will be some on the sidewalk because they have so many vendors, but, I'm not sure which one is bigger. I think Rockin' for Ronald has more vendors. Would you agree with that? Yeah. So these guys don't have as many vendors. While we're talking about it, what's the change with,
Same thing.
same thing, same exact thing?
Are they changing the name of the event for Rocking for Ronald? I feel like,
It's just Rockin' for Ronald, Kelly's Angels was originally flying with Kelly's Angels, but now they switched it to Summer Love and Fest.
that's what I was wondering, was there, okay, so that's changed the name then.
But it's, all proceeds still go to the Kelly's Angels Incorporation. And then same with the Rockin' for Ronald. For the Donald House.
Okay. And the New Year's Day Polar Plunge annually on the 1st of January from noon to 3. She paid her fees, right? So
The same.
75, yeah,
Yep.
the use fee, because they don't use the park itself. They have a DJ set up behind the bandstand facing the water. So they really don't use like the park for any, performances or anything like that.
Are we upping the fees? Cause we said that we were gonna do that this meeting.
Not this meeting, January, we're gonna meet and have
Okay,
an extra special meeting to talk about the
January.
fees, yeah.
okay.
Dan just put together one sheet so far of our fees that we have, that he sees, but there's like 2 more sheets, would you say 2 more sheets that we're gonna have between the Festival Commons rate sheet and Shepherd Park, as well as the rec center fees that we need to get all in one place, which will end up being 3 8.5 by 11 sheets. That way we could have them in front of us and say, hey, we'll hash that out and talk through those.
Okay,
So Ray, when would they become effective? They wouldn't be retroactive back to people that have already been approved for this year. They wouldn't go into effect.
No, they would go into effect moving forward.
So people that already got their permits in would pay the original price and after that would pay the higher price?
If they had submitted the money. But if they have just said, they'll hold that weekend for me and we raise their fees, then they're paying the new rate.
Okay.
I mean, it's only fair, like Debonair doesn't get her money.
I wouldn't wanna keep any money from them.
Don't get in between her and money, man. All right, so
Are we doing that as one resolution?
I'm gonna try. So as far as village events, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Ask for a second.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Carried. Number 6 is request for occupancy tax. We don't know how much we're going to get, but we know we're gonna be able to cover these very easily. Community Benefit Day is the new community block party for 4,500. Rockin' for Ronald is 6,000 requested. Lake George Community Band is for rehearsal space. Now, I spoke with them because the school is allowing them to use the band room at the school.
Are they? Cause they didn't let them.
They didn't during COVID, but they are now, and they want them back because they want kids to be involved in it. And I requested they let us know if they would be willing. A lot of them complained because they didn't know there was an elevator. There is an elevator in the school, and it's on the 2nd floor. And they didn't want to climb stairs with their instruments. The school has graciously offered to move the instruments for them and provide them use of the elevator. I just haven't heard back. I don't really want to throw away 1,800, almost 2,000, because the town splits it with us to pay to SUNY Adirondack. If they have a free place to go in the school. So we're
Right.
talking about saving both us and the town almost $2,000 each.
When do we find out how much occupancy tax we get for that this year that we're?
We base it off of last year.
I know you base it off of last year, but
And
when do
it's
we
usually
find out?
higher.
what
We
we
find
get?
out in, we find out before we get the check, so I think we find out in February. But we get the check in May, it was the end of
I
May.
think we get it at the end of our budget.
Do we wanna, I mean, in my mind, I would just say, can we hold off on approving any occupancy tax until we actually know how much we're getting in February?
No, nothing gets done that way. We know we're gonna have more than this, and no. You can vote against them all if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, can I just interject?
Sure.
No, I think here's a benefit, and I'll play on both sides. The benefit to approving, obviously, we know ballpark, we're better than that, where we're gonna be for our budget for next year as far as OCTAX comes in. But I know for work, this is for 2024, I take it, Rock and Ronald,
Yes.
for this upcoming.
No.
Apologize. Sorry, lost train of thought. Basically, I used to think about from an organization standpoint, because I know one, like I use for my example, I book bands. I have to have them booked out now, or I have an issue with moving in the future. Organization, I know it takes money and or a commitment to do it. So that's the only thing that I see towards that, is that I know that we don't have the money in hand yet. And it's hard to go shopping without dollars on that, in your wallet. That being said, we're expecting this money, and I know that the organization part of it is probably why they need this money now secured, or they can't move forward on their event. There's no request for OCTAX for like a Winter Carnival or anything.
They would go directly to the county for that.
Oh, that's not. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. The North Country Festival, which I believe is a new one. That is,
I think it's new.
Entertainment One. No, so that's not, that's 3rd annual Rock the Lake. That's, yeah. That was done in Wood Park last year, wasn't it? Early on? No, it's 8/10. And then, yeah, so the North Country Festival is different. Why is there 2?
There's 2, they're asking for 2 funds, they're asking for one for North Country.
Okay.
And then
The other one is
also for annual Rock the Lake, it's the same group, they're just asking for 2
Two-
different festivals.
2 different dates, 8/17 and 8/10.
Yeah,
So they got 2 different dates, 1 week apart.
Yep.
Got it.
But have we actually approved the events? And you're asking for occupancy tax? Have the events been approved?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It was the Country Western Festival that you guys looked at.
Oh, so they're just not
Country
asking,
Western,
they're
they
just not,
Switched their name.
okay.
It was kind of, they were unsure what they were gonna go by, and I think that's the solidified name.
is it a new event or has it been?
It's brand new.
Brand new, okay. What was originally the plan for the occupancy tax money? I feel like when I have listened to you guys talk before, the thought was 3 years, and then after 3 years.
The original concept was to give events a leg up to get them going
Yeah,
and get them started, and then they would fly on their own, but it's never worked out that way. Now it's going to be like we are subsidizing the events year after year,
right.
Yeah, it seems to have grown into that.
especially the bigger events.
The larger
a lot,
ones.
a lot of money. They're like car shows, $50,000 from the county, or no,
Yeah.
Americade, or maybe.
Americade.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, if we're like, saying we don't know how much is coming in. And we're just keep giving it to the same people and over again, we're not using it for anything new to help promote like the tourism and economic dollars that are coming in.
That was a rule that was proposed but never really acted on, and it wasn't by anybody but Bob.
Yeah,
And the occupancy tax is designed to put heads in beds. So by subsidizing these events to mostly cover a lot of their advertising fees or band fees, it is essentially still putting heads in beds. If it's a successful event, it doesn't have to stand on its own. It can always ask for occupancy tax.
I noticed that when Kelly's Angels, they did their press thing with the presentations to the scholarships, with the post-star. Said that the first year that they had the event, they made $20,000. So, and I don't know how much we give them, $6,000 or whatever $1,000 in occupancy tax money, and they're still walking away with $20,000 in profit, so.
Well, it's a not-for-profit. So it's money to do their good work with. It's
Yeah.
not like they're going to Tahiti on vacation.
Well,
They gave
Well,
$10,000 worth of scholarships to Lake George kids alone.
I know, but I think that in general, we have to look at the whole event program and I mean, we need to take care of our own business, so that $20,000 that went to Kelly's Angels or whatever how they want to distribute that money, we could use it right here in our community to do something with it, I think, but.
Well, they did distribute it into our community. So half of it. And the money,
Yeah.
the occupancy tax money is not taxpayer money. Remind you that it does
Oh, I
not
know.
come from taxpayers. It is, they call it funny money, but it's not money that we could use for other things. I mean, yes, we can use a certain amount of it for our beautification, and I intend to. We get over $370,000 in occupancy tax.
Yeah.
that's what I was curious.
So it's not like this quickly added up $25,000 is gonna make a big difference. So I think I'd like to have conversations with you on the side about occupancy tax.
Sure, we could do that.
And I think we're wasting time. If you want to vote against them, go ahead until you understand it more. But until you understand it more, I don't think you should be asking questions.
I do understand it pretty well. I mean, that's, I've been reading through all of the contracts with Warren County and all of the forms. It's different for every place, it seems like, but my thing was, if third annual Rock the Lake is coming in, they're requesting 3,000, but it's their third year, they're extremely profitable. And they're also requesting for the North Country Music Festival. Could we just say, no, North Country Music Festival, we can give you the money, but not the third annual Rock the Lake, because that seems to be a profitable event, even without our money. They're making like $16,000, it looks like, in revenue.
What do they do with it?
Hmm?
What do they do with it?
don't
They
say.
employ local people? Do they?
So that's, I mean, that would be a great thing to have on these occupancy tax. Because the one that Sasha's giving to Warren County, there's so many more rules about it, and I feel like it would help everybody feel better about,
This is their
Yeah.
budget. This isn't necessarily what they make.
right, but after, like you said, you base your budget off of the previous year, so their previous year, say. So me, I'm just saying, it looks like it's the third year, it seems like it's been a profitable event, they're starting a new event, they're asking for occupancy tax funds for their new event. Give them the occupancy tax funds for the new event, but the old event seems like it's doing well, let's save it and see what else we could use it for in the future.
You need a recess?
Yeah, I apologize.
We're gonna have to take a recess, so he
I
can-
apologize.
he's gotta use the bathroom.
I don't mind at all.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I apologize. Come on. So, buddy. Okay.
Stop the recording and
In the way.
We can, I mean, we can continue to discuss. I just would rather wait for Jose to be here to vote.
Right.
I'm sorry.
But for instance, I'm pretty sure like other communities do it differently.
Sure.
We are big into the entertainment event programs, where other communities like Bolton would probably use it to build that new
Do the-
park.
Right, well, or they would do the same one or two events that they have
Yeah.
annually, like whereas we have several events. But I think 3 years is a good time to
Mhm.
to utilize. I don't know that I'm cemented in that
Mm-hmm.
decision, but
It'd be nice to have a framework in place so that every time we come up with an application, we have to just, make a new decision every time.
yeah,
And then people will know, because I know like, for instance, when the guys from the bullpen had the triathlon year after year after year, we gave them money, even though we said 3 years, we're probably doing it for 10 years.
yeah.
And they kept getting money because,
But it's
do a good job.
it's also a very good event that
Right.
brings people and it puts
Right.
heads in bed. So in a sense, if and I did see at the talk to the Holiday Inn, and a lot of people did stay there for that
yep,
Rock the Lake
right,
event. It wasn't just people in
right.
cars and camping under
It's hard.
semi
to-
trailers.
It's hard to quantify the results and get the return on investment.
Right.
It's kind of like hard
So-
to do that.
By, say, giving $3,000 to a weekend event that, draws and maybe fills a couple hundred hotel rooms, we're getting that money back
Well,
by
they're getting
the,
they're asking for 3 from us, but they're getting another 3 from, they're asking the town.
they're asking the town for another
They're
3.
getting 6. And then, they're gonna be asking the town for another 5 for their other new one. So in essence, they're getting about $16,000 in occupancy tax funds for the year,
for the two events.
for the 2 of
For the
them.
2 events. And they're not asking the town for the 3rd.
There's no 3rd on here that we have to approve for them. There's just the 2. So in the 2 events altogether, with the town and the village of Lake George, if the town deems to approve, they'll be getting $16,000.
And one thing in the early days, we wanted some sort of follow-up so we could get information from them to say a feedback or report of some sort to give us an idea of how return on our investment, their return and our return on that, which we really don't get that either.
Well, they have to turn in receipts in order to get this money. So we're not giving it to them until they prove to us that they've
Right.
spent all of this, the money listed in advertising and with receipts and canceled checks. It's not like we do have a regulated system that
Yeah.
they're not getting
So
a
if they
cent
don't
like,
need it all, we don't give them all, we give them what they need to pay for.
right.
So I mean, and this is probably something we have to think about in the future, but what Warren County asks for receiving occupancy tax funds. I mean, this is a thick packet that we could like easily just instill and have people give to us so that we actually know that we are giving occupancy tax funds to things that you're saying are doing that specific event, like, oh, they are putting people into the hotel rooms and that nature. Like, if we're just continuing to say like, yes, 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 but we don't truthfully know, we don't have the subjective and objective information. What else could we be using these funds for, is the thing. And I mean, the general spending guidelines for the occupancy tax funds like are written out here. And so there are other things that we could be using these for, right? That could be potentially bringing in more revenue stream to our area. So I just don't want us to do the same thing over and over again if we could be using it for something else that's completely more beneficial.
Mhm.
That's what my point is. For that. But to
Well, we
me,
do-
it seems like they're set up, that one is set up. If they want the ones for a new festival, but the old festival, it seems like they're doing really well with. So-
Well, they don't do them for practice. They do them to make money and we're making money by them paying us rent. So,
We do use quite a bit of it for second chance, the people that do the cleaning.
which I'm gonna add to the end of the agenda to talk about, because Keith and I have been discussing that, but let's get to the end before we discuss that.
Okay.
It occurred to me as soon as you said that I wanted to put it on the agenda to talk about, and I forgot to have it added.
I apologize, I'm going to recess. I just want to say something really quick, and I apologize. No,
Yes.
that's bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hear where Allison's coming from, because we both came in at the same exact time.
Yeah.
We're new to the board, and that's why honestly, I said, and I listened when John, Joe, and the mayor speak, 'cause they've been doing this for quite a while, and they understand the mechanisms by how the village works with the town vis-a-vis the county.
Yeah.
The OCTAX question, it's interesting to me because, it's a big elephant in the room. That's a very giving one. With that being said, I know there are several things in the village that we took pride in the past 7 months, we were able to change. For moving forward, things that we knew, whether it's a code or an issue, we're able to fix. I know where Allison's coming from. She doesn't like the can getting kicked down the road, which I appreciate. She makes me think during recess breaks. No, but in all seriousness, I do like the idea where you're coming from as far as we've done it with whether it's employee conduct codes and so on. If we could just, I guess, on our private time, next time we have meetings, we could talk about this in the future. As far as if we have a set standard, like we're talking about with special events.
Yeah.
So, and right now, we're all, use that term, victims of circumstance, we're working within the borders which we have. And one of our biggest things historically, this is what we've always done. And it's hard to break those traditions. It's really tough, because I know historically I make X amount of dollars, so I budget for that in the future, theoretically. And I know these people are also counting on this money. That being said, moving down the line in the future, I think it would be a good idea. If we had an open discussion and we work these things out. So in the future, we're not spending a half hour talking about one item. Because I understand the frustration of on everyone's part for it. But the one thing I will give it, everyone's been fair, and everything that we wanted to change, we've done it in the past 7 months. So that's my 2 piece on occupancy tax, because I do agree, grow our village, put more heads in the beds, and also keep money available to bring in new groups. So if that's something we work on towards the future, I understand that these have to get passed. Maybe down the line, we could change it. We've changed a lot in 7 months, and we're all here for a couple more, so we could do it.
A lot of it was made up as we were going along.
Yeah.
There was
It was-
guidelines that were thrown out there that have
Guidelines.
been revised
Yeah.
several times over the
Yeah.
years.
And every community looks at it differently, handles
Yeah.
it differently, and it does get a little bit confusing because you had different people coming in and this person, they're from, it gets.
I think our neighbors to the north, one of the towns north of us bought a tractor with occupancy tax money, which
Right.
that doesn't put heads in beds. That doesn't make people
Yeah.
come to your community.
What was the guideline?
That was the mantra originally.
Right.
Heads and beds.
Heads in beds.
That's something I know Allison's passionate about, and I get passionate about, that we could work with you.
Yeah.
On the side. And
It's a lot of money.
getting this.
Should do the right thing with it, that's all.
Yeah.
Because you can use it for beautification.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
It's on here.
and we do.
Right, so it's I mean, in my mind, if they need more money, this event's profitable. Let them stand on their own now, and let's try to improve the things like you said, like the trees that are still. We don't have in the pits, there's tons of them dying, that's gonna be a significant expense on us in the next year.
Yeah, I found some grants for that too. I'll take them one at a time. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Did we go all the way down?
Yes, well, we covered all of 6,
Okay.
all 5 of the 6. Number 6. Community Benefit Day, $4,500 requested. Motion to approve.
I want to pull that one out personally. That whole thing started out as like I said at the last meeting, kind of a local church kumbaya event. It was going to be not directed towards tourists. It was going to be all locals. I thought it'd be something really nice to kind of go down there and mingle with members of the community. And now it's turned into a major event. It's live music, bouncy houses, advertising. I don't know why you need advertising if it's for local people. Banners, seems like first of all, we never did see an application. We approved it. I don't recall seeing an application. We approved it just in conversation. And now it's turned into a $9,000 event. And he said it's gonna 2,000 expected attendance. It just sounds, and it's dumped right, or I shouldn't say dumped, it's placed right in the middle of not the middle of the village, but in a residential area. I thought it sounded like a really nice get together with your neighbors.
I still think it sounds like that.
I'm actually wondering if we could maybe just put it on hold, because when I was walking around town the other day, I was talking to some residents that live right there. They said that they did not understand that that was what was going to be happening, so I'd rather we talk to them a little bit more to make sure that it's something that the people that live right next to it are gonna be okay with.
Who'd you talk to?
Some of the gentlemen that live right next to Hendrick Street,
Oh, yeah, I know. I know
Yeah.
the guys that sit on the porch.
they're lovely.
They are
and I
good guys.
just don't want, to me, it sounded like they were like, oh, is that happening? Like, are we voting on it? Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, there's just maybe some misinformation. They were nervous that their neighbor across the street might feel a little bit overwhelmed by all the people. So I would just like us to ask them a little bit more first before we put that right there with 2,000 people, pony rides, bounce houses.
People.
Well, that's
I know,
what they say on there, but
not at once.
like, I'm not saying no, don't do it. I just like, if I was the resident right there and that went right up in front of my house and people didn't ask me and say, is this okay? I'd be upset as a resident.
Well, there's no bounce houses going there. They're going down the street closer to the parking lot.
But it's still pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm surprised that the churches would be open to having people coming traipsing through their churches and using their bathrooms. Are they really public restrooms? Are they like just for the,
Do you ever go to church, John? They have bathrooms in churches.
well, I mean, I was an altar boy for years and I've been to plenty of churches, not lately, but it's not usually for the 2,000 people to be going in and out of.
Yeah, no, I think
bathrooms.
they had some, he talked about, porta potties in the budget. I don't see them, but
Porta potties, I don't see that. But like I said, the original vision in my mind was like a laid back little block party.
Church event.
church event.
Church event. And now it seems like anybody that
I
has
mean,
a
it did
not for
grow
profit is
from
gonna be
what it
working. over
originally
there.
brought it into
Yes.
its size. I mean, I have to admit that did grow from, getting the local churches, dinners and,
Mhm.
big barbecue sort of kind of like into, more of a, almost
party.
like people in a,
It's a festival in the way you call it, I would say, like festival.
and I can understand the money probably being used for the bounce houses and whatever else, that's not being donated in time for but music and whatnot, so.
There is a playground at Caldwell,
The church said
Yeah.
they'd open it up to
Right.
the
so I don't
festival.
know if they really need a bounce house, but. And I don't know if they really need live entertainment, that's $3,000 for Stony Creek and.
Maybe we just want to hold off on this one and just make sure that it's something that the people in that area want right next to them.
We can't just let one or two people decide the whole event. If you could get somebody in a bad mood on the wrong day of the week and
But if
tell you
it's
to get the
outside
hell off of their porch.
houses, right, if it's outside their houses, I feel like they have a right to say that. I mean, if it's down the road in Shepherd's Park, then I'd say like, oh, it's down the road, it's not outside your house, but if it's right outside your front porch, for 17th, 18th, 19th. And if they are like, what, I'm not sure I feel this way, maybe we could just figure out a way to move it to a different spot. Like, I don't know if anything's being taken up that week in like Shepherd's Park or Wood Park or things of that nature. But I would, just as a resident, I feel like it's a common courtesy that we should extend.
We can think about it. I mean, we don't have to approve it today.
Yeah. There's no rush, I feel like, for that.
Well, in order to get it officially planned and book certain things, you want to know that you're getting funds
Sufficient amount of
requested
time.
ahead of time.
Has the town addressed it yet?
I believe they would have addressed it last Monday.
No.
If they didn't, then it'll be,
Okay, yeah, it wasn't last, yeah, we were there.
you were there for that.
Right, then. Oh, got there late, so I.
We did miss the beginning of
Yeah.
it.
I'm not sure if they did.
Were there events like this, growing up in the area? I have to defer
They
to
used
you
to,
folks.
they used to do them in the sixties. I've never attended one. We had them in Lake Luzerne where I grew up. It was like a family festival
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it gives
So
you
after
a
this
park
season.
In the village. so.
Either after,
Yeah.
they used to try and do it before because our shoulder season has
Right.
gotten quite extensively long. Past Columbus Day, you're tempting fate by
Right.
trying to do something outside, so
Yeah, it
I
was
get
good.
where he's coming from, but they used to do it, I think he said the week after Labor Day.
Yeah,
At the on the grounds of the Fort William Henry, and I talked to a couple of people that used to go to it, including Bobby Flack. He's like, oh, I remember that, it was a blast.
Mhm.
He goes, I wish they would bring something like that. So there's a lot of nostalgia to the
Sure.
people that have been here a long time, lifelong residents older than myself that remember it. So the people that I've talked to are pretty excited that it's coming back.
yeah, that's what I kind of was attracted it to for, because you'd be socializing with your friends and neighbors, but this has turned into a major event that's gonna be attracting people that don't necessarily live in the neighborhood. In my mind, anyway.
I think it's a good event. I think it's a good idea. I think we could rein some certain things in that we disagree with, but. You know, like possibly the bounce houses. I mean, I think it's to get kids to want to come so that their parents will come. If you get kids singing for the school, like
Mhm.
is on part of his plan is,
Yeah,
then the parents
They
will
come to
attend.
that,
They'll
then
come
you get
to see the kids, yeah.
well, yeah, originally he did say that the high school band was gonna be playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still on the list, but now it's Stony Creek.
It's
band.
still alcohol free.
Still alcohol free, yeah.
Mm.
All right, well, we'll table it until we get some more information. Is that everybody okay with that?
Yeah, we'll tell you, yeah.
All right, Rockin' for Ronald, 6,000 requested. Motion to approve.
We'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. A request is carried. Lake George Community Band Rehearsal Space. I should see. Cause we could approve this. And if I would like to get them to rehearse at the school because I know. The school wants the kids to be involved. It is the Lake George Community Band and they're practicing in Queensbury.
That's what I kind
Oh,
of,
I already talked to the school, Joe.
no. Hold off on approving it, because if we approve it, then they're gonna want it. to
Okay.
go. So if we don't approve it,
All right, yeah, let's put this one on pause as well. North Country Festival, 5,000 requested, formerly the Country Western Festival. Motion to approve the funding for that.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. And finally, the third annual Rock the Lake, $3,000 requested. Motion to approve those funds.
I will make that motion also for the third annual.
Okay. Second for that,
Second.
second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, say nay.
Yeah.
Okay. That took long enough. Okay, training. Let's go through this one quick. This is for our zoning and planning board conference and members. Listed below, Ron Mogren, Carol Sullivan, Bob Labar, Patricia Leland, Jeff Blau, Tom Sullivan, Deb Myers, and Walt Adams. That covers almost everyone in both of our boards for training at $90 a person, January 31st in Saratoga. Our, just to let you all know, our planning and zoning board members have to attend a certain amount of training each year in order to still serve So this is an opportunity for them to get some hours. I'll take a motion to approve that.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay.
Right, Mayor. You all got this email for the webinars?
Oh, yeah.
I probably should have brought this up sooner, but these are some things that I would be interested in, and it's is it $25 a webinar?
Yeah.
Yes, it says for new officials, but these are things that I could probably be educated on.
We
So-
could all be
Yeah,
educated on
so I
stuff
don't
like that.
know how this would work.
What we
I
could,
printed it out.
yeah, I mean, we could add that, just show. If you have a date, is there a date in mind? Do we have a meeting before then? If we don't, then we could cover it tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a meeting before this. It's February 1st.
Oh, yeah, we'll have January
Yeah,
before that.
right, okay. Like that's, and it doesn't really, I look for a deadline, but because it's a webinar, you could probably sign up for it right up to the last minute.
Yeah, I would think. They don't fill up.
Yeah, there's plenty of seats,
Yeah.
right? And not only that, but it
And-
says you get a copy, they'll send you a copy of the webinar, so you'll have that.
Oh,
as
like in a
record.
PowerPoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
anytime any of you would like to do any training, just bring it
Okay.
to Julie's
You
attention.
want this?
I have it, but yeah, I'll take it.
Pass it over.
Print it out.
to-
I have the email.
Yeah, we all got the email, but I thought, those seemed to catch my eye.
And Nikon does a very good job at facilitating
Yeah.
training.
And I looked at the NICOM winter one, but I didn't see any of the classes that I wanted to take, so I didn't really. But that's coming up too, but
That's the one, is it
it's in Albany.
Albany, right? Yeah. I've never gone to that one. I think it's Syracuse or something like that when I first got elected.
Gotta go to Lake Placid. I'm gonna go at all.
Yeah, I know, right?
Those are the ones to go to.
Okay. So we got that approved. Did we get that approved? Motion?
The training, yes.
Yes, good, okay. And 8, so water truck award. Unfortunately, we have to wait. Was it 4 months or something like that? What is it, Keith? 3 months, 4 months?
For the truck to be delivered.
For the truck to be
It
delivered.
would be more than.
Yeah,
That comes still with all the manufacturers.
well, with the strikes and all that.
Yeah, so we did get it, we have, low square, to replace the, water department's utility truck. So, using, OGS, Julie and I, went through this process a couple times. The original price was, $63,700. That includes the truck, the utility, body, and also a weather cap on top to keep things dry in the winter and so on. We never had that in the past. It was always kind of a headache, this time of year, if it was snowing, you had to take everything out of the truck and there's no cap on, so we're gonna try to get into the, 21st century.
Hauling snow around.
Yeah, so, yeah, correct. So, there was a couple modifications. One of them was, it wasn't a cost change, they were gonna have it, the white color. We wanted the blue that, what we've had for the, water department vehicles, so there was no extra charge for that. There was the upcharge, to be able to put a plow on that, vehicle. And a couple other items that went along with it. So we're up to 64,800.
Is it a new plow? We're putting a new plow on, right?
That doesn't include the plow, it includes the plow package on the truck itself.
Okay.
So we didn't get to that far yet. I'm really thinking that the plow that we have now on the current utility should be able to be applied to the new truck. If it doesn't, then we'll have to, revisit.
Yeah, I was talking with LGA about some potentially live edge plows going with them as far as a grant application where they would pay for it.
Yeah, they still don't have one that's been effective for pickups or for 1-ton trucks.
Okay,
All the live edge plows are for the larger plow trucks, so 10 yards and up.
okay,
But we can, I'm waiting for them to build one. They tried and it didn't work.
yeah,
Metal Plus company out of Canada, and I don't think they've come with a solution yet. But when they do get one, I'm interested in getting.
Yeah. Okay. So
Heavy enough.
what's that?
The smaller trucks aren't
Aren't
probably
heavy enough, yeah,
to
for the
adjust the,
Yeah,
the plates to go up and
edges.
down.
Yeah, flies or those live edge to a regular, you know, even a.
Right, because
450
they're not
or
heavy
550.
enough
Yeah,
to
right.
keep that weight down on them.
Okay, so I'll take, we have this money, so, we're not reaching into our pockets for it, we're budgeted for it, so I'll take a motion to approve the, new water truck.
I'll make that motion.
All right, is there a second?
I can second it.
Seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Got it.
Aye, and opposed say nay. Now, this next one is pretty important. Our phones don't even have caller ID. With the phone systems, any one of the three we will have, and eventually the ability to take payments for our water and potentially sewer bills, taxes, right here at the counter, rather than still just only taking paper checks or cash.
So,
It's somewhat maddening to be a digital immigrant, and we're still on analog stuff here. So either any one of these three, I think, would be acceptable. Mine and Julie's recommendation is to do Paul Tracy from Innovative Systems, which is also upstatetechsupport.com. He came here to give us a price, and while he was here, our computer system had gone down. And he came back 2 days later with our current IT guy to fix it and did not charge us.
that's nice.
It was very nice.
Which bit is his?
The Citricom,
The Citricom.
that's the first one that you're coming to. We also got NEC as well as Spectrum to
Right,
come
oh,
and give us,
that's
this guy turns out to be the lowest. I did have a lot of thought on it about why not go with somebody big like Spectrum. We could actually IM with the town who has Spectrum if we wanted to. I don't know that I need to IM anybody over there except for Dan, but we were talking about it, Julie and I, and we said, you know, this guy did us a solid and he seems very knowledgeable. I mean, Jose's got experience with him.
Yeah, it's, I'll put it out there. I've used Paul Tracy before. I used him because of with our credit card processing at our business. There's new federal laws that if someone were to get health hostage vis-a-vis credit card, so on, if you don't fit a certain criteria, federal government's not gonna help or back you on it. And it opened me up to the world of just how vulnerable our telephones, our cell phones and internet and everything has to do here. And so I've been watching it from day one. And unfortunately, with our computer systems and phone systems that we have here, we're pretty much not up to compliance with the rest of the world. It just is, and it's no one's fault, it just is. So where we're at right now, we really need to take it seriously. Our phones are one thing, we joke about it, but like with the internet, we didn't have service for quite a bit. And what we've been doing over years, it's been patch on patch on patch. To the point now where there's nowhere else to go. This company, they do security for schools. And they also for hospitals, major hospitals, so they have all the security certificates for it. But whichever way we vote tonight, we something that we definitely need. It's not a vanity. The phones, it's a very serious thing, and just like we were speaking of before, we have to move into the newest century. 21st.
21st.
This doesn't tie in with the email issue that we have.
Well, actually, he has the capability of helping us with that too.
Good.
Not necessarily, I don't think we should have an e-commerce website. I think we're on the same page there. That's the Chamber's job and LakeGeorge.com's job. I think our website could look a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
But we could also get a different host and have a different, our email problems will not be tied to Digital Towpath,
Right.
which is part of our problems, why we can't receive large files. Sometimes things don't come through,
Yeah.
right?
It's all in code. I
Yeah,
know, or something.
that's something that he can help us with,
Yeah.
and he said it's, really not
It all
not
works
much to it.
together.
It all works
Yeah.
together, like your phone system will work with a computer system, with a website, with the security cameras. We talked about security cameras in the past. I would think we should have them on our building at least. Wouldn't mind having them at every intersection, but
So this is not the cheapest bid, it's the second. It's coming in second, right? Is that right? Because
well, it doesn't have to be the cheapest bid. We looked to
No,
see
just saying.
the highest quality. The cheapest, I think, might have been that NEC.
Well, yeah, that's-
Julie told me that she thought he was cheaper because of the recurring charges were different.
it says. Actually, it might be a little bit cheaper, by like $20.
Yeah, she did say he was the cheapest.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at that now. This is a one-time fee, the monthly fee. So yeah, he's cheaper by $20, the one that you're suggesting.
Yeah.
And this would be budgeted for the 2024 year.
No, we budgeted already for this,
Budgeted already
this one.
for
We
it?
just haven't, haven't gotten around to it.
Okay,
But yeah, we did have it in this year's budget, so we could, contract with them immediately.
okay.
All right, so I'll make that a motion that we go with, Paul Tacey and, Upstate Tech Support for our phone system.
Before we vote, should I recuse myself because of my past business dealings?
You could, it wouldn't hurt.
I'd like to recuse myself, and I just don't want there to be a question.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye, and one recusal. Motion's passed. Number 10 is a permission for us to write a request for proposals for food truck, Fridays at the Lake. We've had it, last year was Vince with the mac and cheese, and he won he was the highest bidder for this request for proposal. And then also for Fridays at the Lake, I'll take those two at one, an RFP for beverages.
I think it just has to be changed, the 2024 dates. There's two conflicting dates. August 2nd, I don't think you can allow, and July 19th, because those are the Kelly Angels and the Rocking for Ronald are in there. That was Fridays. So I think those have to be taken out so that it's not, this person doesn't think that they can do it.
I think
don't-
they did have him, he
Yeah.
did do,
That's not considered a Friday at the lake, though.
I think
Ronald is there, right?
usually using the music on Thursdays and Saturdays for Rockin' with Ronald, and Fridays at the Lake is still Fridays at the Lake, just with Rockin' for Ronald.
So there's no conflicting dates. Okay.
If I remember correctly, though, that, on that, I can't remember, it's a Friday, right? But
Yeah.
I think that on those Fridays during Rockin' for Ronald, it was the Rockin' for Ronald, team that was, serving the beer, but it was still Common Roots beer.
Common Roots Beer, right,
Their-
right.
their
Usually
staff-
it's Tim and Linda.
Right, they did it, right?
They
So-
did it, and I'd be fine with that
Yeah, so
again.
it's still the same beer,
Still the same beer.
but it's not it's not Common Roots team that is serving it. That's
Right.
the only difference, yeah. So it would be.
Well, they gave the tips to the Ronald McDonald House Charities.
Tim and Linda.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
Tim and Linda, but also oh, no, wait, they didn't serve it, so yeah.
Yeah, they don't serve during those events. They have their own team serving, so.
And I feel like they gave it proceeds though.
It's still, yeah, possibly, but it's still their, whoever gets the bid, there would be their beer every Friday. all
Each of
summer.
the Fridays, yeah, for this year. And that's how we did it last year. It worked out. I mean, I like Common Roots. I like local
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Yeah, and there wasn't a big uproar because there was no Bud Light there. That was the
People
big-
got over that, yeah.
I didn't hear anybody complain. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'll make a motion to, for number 10 and 11.
Okay.
2 for 1.
Sure. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Any opposed say nay. No.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking something else. I apologize.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Is that you, Carson?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, awesome.
So we have a proposal from you guys. I think we saw it a few years back, very similar one. And I did reach out based on, a recommendation from an employee of ours to our insurance, company. Let's talk about this first. You want to do a pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I can briefly talk about, what we try to accomplish with our business here. So basically, we've been in operation for about 10 years now. We've been operating in Schenectady, Troy, and most recently Saratoga. Now, basically, what we do is we are a touring business. So we have a 14-passenger bike. What we like to do is we have, people book online or they can call us, they come on board. We have music available, we play games, we give out prizes, that type of deal. We operate obviously during the summer, anytime Thursday to Sunday. This time varies based on location, due to, the stops that we go to, whether they're open or not, that type of deal. We've been doing really well in our other locations, and most recently Saratoga, we've had some real good success. So, we believe Lake George is kind of a similar type market, and we believe that we could be successful if we were to, potentially operate in your guys' area. So just kind of going through the steps, trying to see what the process is, to get going with this whole deal. So.
So, and I know you didn't see this, I could probably forward it to you just as easily. I reached out to our insurance agents to see what they thought about it. And now I understand that nobody's going to be drinking on the bicycle, correct?
Yeah, no, obviously due to New York State regulations, no open container, that type of deal. So yeah, no permission to drink alcohol on board.
Yeah, okay. So the first thing he says is liability claims accidents involving the cycle while serving beer could result in injury to pedestrians. With that being said, it's not an issue. But there are 4 other points that he seems to make. He has advised us to not allow this type of operation. I want to talk to the rest of the board because I haven't talked to them about it. I mean, 1 or 2 in passing. You should have a copy of that in your packet, but so we'll start left to right. John, what do you think? I know we talked about this a few, you done 19, I think, 18, maybe
Yeah,
2018.
that was more of a circular one. This is inline. That was a,
I think it was where everybody faced each other, but you
Yeah,
pedaled and then the
right.
person drove.
that was, but I actually, I think that just the way the village is laid out, the topography, the hills and the traffic, it's a small community. I think, I like to drink beer. I ride a bicycle, but I think there's not enough traveling distance between one bar to the next, and you'd have to go down to get to the most popular place in Lake George Village. You couldn't even ride the bike down there on the bike path, on the lakefront walkway.
On the streets, right?
Yeah. So I don't really think it's that conducive to our community.
Okay, Joe, what do you think?
I shadowing with John on that one. I know we talked about it before and it just didn't seem, it was something that would really fit in Lake George. Our traffic in the summer is just too crazy.
I think traffic would be an issue.
The car-
Trustee Miller?
Well, the traffic, the cars parked on the side of the streets. I don't know, have you walked the route that you're suggesting?
Yeah, so I had 2 potential routes for you. So basically how it works with what we do is we're in spots for not very long, right? We're only in each spot for about 25 minutes. So typically what we do with like our other locations is we'll, pull to the side of the road, we'll pull into parking lots. We don't necessarily need a legitimate parking spot in order to operate, because again, we're there for a very short period of time. Our drivers are always on board. And if worst case scenario, they do have to move the bike out of the way in order to not disrupt the flow of traffic, they're more than able to do that. Of course, we're also going to we're not going to go on to Canada Street, that main street there. Obviously, we can't really handle disruption of traffic either, right? We got to stay on schedule with our tours, stuff like that. So the main purpose of our route is to stay off that main road, stay away from all the traffic, stay out of everybody's way, obviously, but still be able to get our passengers to each stop. The big thing with our bike too, I know it kind of gives off a vibe of like it's, a party bike, that type of deal, but we have all sorts of things going on with our bikes. It's not typically just like a drinking bike. Obviously, we do stop at bars with our locations, but we have everything on there from, community building with different businesses. We have birthday parties. We have just about anything you can think of, really. There's no limit to what we can do on the bike. It's pretty much just a completely different way for people to experience the cities that we operate in. So
When I look at it, I just think right there near the Cadwell Cemetery, when you go down, that's a pretty steep incline. Right, and so then I think what they're talking about in our liability is property damage. Their cars parked along that area, and then also it's like a residential street, so you're going by homes, people that where they live. So to me, I don't know. if People could walk and go to these bars, I guess, in that distance.
yeah, so we sorry to interrupt. We made that second route. I figured that the first route with the residential part would be a problem, so that's why we added in the second route where we will just stay on that same road that's right behind the bars. We don't go into that residential area. Also, obviously, I did drive the route myself just to see, you know, if the bike could handle it. We do. There is a little bit of a hill, but the bike is motor powered, so it's able to get up that hill. It should be able to get up it with no issues. So.
That's the second route though, it's still residential, it's all residential. That area. That's why I think I would have to say no, just because you're going by people's houses. It sounds like there's loud music playing, things like that. I know cars can do that, but. Again.
Okay. Jose, would you like to weigh in?
Hey, Carson. Hi.
How we doing?
With your other locations, have you had any accidents, any issues? In the
No,
past?
that's one thing that we've had a clean slate in terms of.
With 10 years, no accidents, no one falling backwards. Are there seatbelts or anything on here?
So there isn't a seatbelt, but we do have multiple guardrails and stuff like that that they can hold on to. Yeah, for 10 years operation, we've had zero issues in terms of liability with that. So
Okay. That's one of my biggest concerns is safety. It's alcohol aside, you know, it gets hot.
yeah,
And
of
I've
course.
seen people pass out just from heat, and that'd be my greatest fear on there. You know, I think it's a fun idea. You know, I go to Nashville a lot and I see them going up and down Broadway and so on. I think there's only been one incident since all the years I've been going there. The route that you proposed, is this the route that was advised to you?
So they just kind of basically all Dan really told me was, you know, stay off Canada Street, stay off that main, you know, street where obviously the heaviest traffic is. So, you know,
Well,
we
that's the
do.
street you're on.
So we don't actually ever go on to Canada Street. We ride on the street behind it, and what we do is we do this with our Saratoga location. We're not we don't go on Broadway, which is the main street in Saratoga. What we do is we park on the side streets, and you know, we just have our passengers have a nice little short walk to the bar. So yeah, we never actually go on to Canada Street at all because we don't want to disrupt that traffic. Obviously, we can't do it either because we got to stay on time with tours. So
You operate in Saratoga during track season?
we do.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so I will just call for a roll call vote on this. And that way, anybody else that has a last minute option to weigh in. I don't know that it's really good for the Lake George back streets. I could see it in Saratoga or Schenectady or Troy, and just in my opinion, I just don't think it's a good use. Our streets are tiny, but I'm gonna let the board weigh in. Trustee Root, how do you feel?
No, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Joe?
No, not, I don't think so, not as a beer thing, but if he had done something, thought about it, like the horse carriage ride, and they wanted to do something like that, go along Beach Road, up around the circle, and where the traffic is definitely a little more controllable, but as a beer bike, I mean, you're so far off the main route from one of these restaurants, I couldn't see it working in the village.
Okay. Trustee Miller?
I'm along the same lines, I'm sorry, no.
Trustee Filomeno?
Hey Carson, my long-winded answer. Right now, your business model is built around, use the term beer bikes. I know it's not just a beer bike. Have you ever thought of retooling? Because my relocation is different. I know Troy very well, I know Saratoga very well. In Lake George, I know it looks like the easy money are the bars and so on. But the one thing we have, a lot of people always forget, we have a ton of international travelers who'd like to see our area. They aren't always necessarily into the bars. Would you ever think of reformatting your business and possibly reapplying, but in the sense of more of a sightseeing and something of that nature. If you look at Beach Road, as they mentioned, and all the shops down there, and possibly by the time you come up and around 253 Kenneth Street, it's a long walk, especially in the heat. And I know there's a lot of groups of families that could fill you up on there. And also take away that stigma of possibly people that's drinking, people getting, we all live here in the village. And the last thing we want to do is put more alcohol and rowdy people in the back streets. I know that's not what we're intending to do. That's always their greatest fears. We're a village made up of new families, retirees, people who are close. But would you ever think of that, of reapplying, changing that model? It's like I said, every location is a different model. I think you'd have more success with the board and so on. If you retooled it to more of that sightseeing sense, because I tell you, Beach Road, you have a wealth between $1 Million Beach, Fort William Henry, and so on. There's a lot of spots in the village to see.
And historic.
Historic sites, and I
Bike
think
path, if you want
And
to
the bike
go,
path.
if you want to go on
Yeah.
a bike path, that's nice.
it's nice, and also Battlefield Park and things that I just recently discovered in the past couple of years going for a walk that I didn't even know existed. And I tell you, as far as I have to stick to my capitalist mind, there is great opportunity for this, but in a different location area in the village. And it'll be a easy, clean, manageable dollar with families. Without I can't say it was 0%, but very low percentage of possibly inebriated people that might fall off. The safety of their big thing. And Joe mentioned with the horse rides and so on. It's nice ambiance and families really do take advantage of it. So I'm a no for this particular route and what we're going for. But I really think if you could, I know it's your business, think about what I said about that Beach Road, the fort and everything back there, because I think you could do well with that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We this isn't necessarily the set in stone plan that we needed. Obviously, we proposed these routes to you just to kind of see what your thoughts would be with it. We love the idea of doing that too, because I know, like you said, these things are Nashville, they're in big party cities, they kind of be perceived as a beer bike, but we do see ourselves more as a touring business than a booze cruise type of deal. So yeah, I mean, we would be more than willing to, check out the idea. You said the beach street with the nice little walking path, same type of thing. Yeah, we're definitely not opposed to anything like that. And again, if we want to propose something else with that, we're more than welcome to do it. I do understand your guys' concerns for what you think it is, but like I said, we can make this bike pretty much anything anybody wants it to be. It doesn't have to be a booze cruise type of deal. So yeah, I do definitely think we could work on something like that. What we did do in Saratoga, I'll leave this with our last point. They kind of had their concerns at first too. So what we did with them was we did a pilot program. They just it was basically like a monthly trial, right? They let us operate for a month, see how things go, see how it was taken in by the community, that type of deal. Obviously, if there are any issues, stuff like that, they were just gonna, say the trial was unsuccessful and we were gonna move on. But obviously, trial went through, everything went perfectly well, and we were able to operate after that. So
I have a question for you. The
Sure.
format, people just get on and off anywhere along the route, or do they have to sign up in the beginning and take the whole route from start to finish, like what Jose was saying, somebody can get on it, kind of use it as a transportation trolley, a non-alcoholic one to get around the village if they wanted to use it that way.
So traditionally what we have done is it's basically all through online, through calling our phone number. We do a lot of we do social media marketing. Obviously it's kind of a site marketing thing too, right? People see the bike out, they're like, oh, that's cool. They want to know more about it. They Google us, they call us, that type of deal. I mean, I could see a world where we could do some type of sign up, where if we got some type of kiosk over where we were operating, if people wanted to sign up and hop on, I'm sure there's something we could do with that. Like I said, we're not set in stone in our ways. We do different things at all our locations. So, whatever you guys are willing to accept, we can definitely work something out.
Has the board ever done anything like this before?
We voted
Rickshaw
it
bikes.
down the last time. The
We tried
rickshaws,
rickshaws.
we had rickshaws.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were short-lived, but they were really cool. We had high hopes for them.
Yeah,
Um,
advertisement on the side of.
they ended up being pizza delivery guys at the end.
Yeah.
They had a TV in the back, which
Yeah.
was kind of.
That was pretty neat. They cost a fortune though. those
Have you
things.
guys done temporary things like this? to-
I don't believe we have. I'd have to
The
talk
trial.
with, yeah, like a pilot
The
program.
Temporary bike rentals in the village and.
With
Oh,
Tony
the
Medevere.
Cape Ice is.
Tony Matavir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been a
Um,
couple different. things
Yeah, well, I
we've
think
tried, but-
you know, Carson, being that, you know, 3 of the 4 board members that spoke so far have said no and simply no, thank you. I'm kind of erring on the side of caution as well. So maybe retool it and come back with something else.
I think it's a great idea, like I said.
It might be a much better idea in Troy and Schenectady. Our roads are just tiny. And we have, you know, a lot of people in a small area and I don't think a 14 passenger bike is a good idea in the middle of the summer. So,
Okay, fair
sorry and thank you.
No, yeah, I appreciate you guys for giving me the time.
Thank you,
No
guys.
problem.
Thanks, Carson.
You vote too?
I do vote and I will vote no.
You vote no? Okay.
Okay, so let's see, water changes, transfers and audits. I'll take those both.
I'll make the mo-
Okay,
Jack got it.
trustee
I'll second it.
John, and then seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Opposed, say nay. And motion's carried. I wanted to add the second chance conversation to the end. Keith and I have been talking about this. Oh, with Donnie Smith's request?
Yes. Do you wanna-
Oh, she has, somebody wants to have a birthday party at the firehouse?
So you want to waive the fees for the birthday parties?
Well, they're members, right?
Remember
They are-
the fire department, that's the fire department.
Yeah, so we always do that. Any member that serves can use the hall for a birthday party or sometimes even weddings. So I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion's carried. So second chance, we've used them for a few years. They are very, very expensive. To the tune of, what is it, $80,000?
We're creeping up on it. I wanna say it was, 77,000 last year.
Okay.
So we're up there.
And it's worked out okay and it's worked out not okay. It's a lot of money. And I would assume we may want to take a look at possibly the H2B program. Generally, the H2Bs H2B is Hispanic to business. So they're a little older, a little more seasoned, more mature, and their English is always better. And I would make that recommendation that we look into that with either Intrax or Inter-Exchange, any of those. To solve our need for bathroom, restroom cleaners. We have done it in the past with J1s. They just had someone
Oversee.
as of overseeing them as a foreman, and we do have somebody for the day, Stephen, and then we have David at night. So I think we could probably employ 4.
Well, we would wanna cover the days off, which is usually in the middle of the week. That way we had our full-time personnel for the weekend and so on. There's kind of a program we've done for a while now. So, but it can certainly be, modified by all means.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot less money than the almost $80,000 we're
They
paying.
would be prevailing wage though.
Yeah,
They got prevailing.
they got,
wage.
yeah, they did.
Right.
We don't have to pay.
And every year it creeps up from the state, with a nice,
Yeah.
and, so I think it's time. I wanna say we've done it, 5, 6 years now.
It's been a while.
And
I'd
it's
have to.
creeped up quite a
Well,
bit since that.
4 probably.
Oh, and we've tried hiring some folks from Second Chance and Buster
Buster.
didn't work out. Couple other people, there was a guy sent me a photo of a guy sleeping on the job, and then yelled at the man.
And, there is a plus there with second chances. If somebody doesn't show up, their organization gets somebody right up there. So
Yeah.
that has a certain amount of value to it, especially, midsummer. But I think we need to look at what our capabilities could be, with the students, and see where we can kind of put that together. And look at the cost, apples.
Yeah, I think we should, and, I would like the board's permission to do that.
Need a motion?
I don't think so. Just an agreement, you know, and
Just
then I'll
look
come
at
back
the
with,
differences.
I'll come back with what
Yeah.
what we think we can accomplish. Just have to speak to someone. I probably really didn't even need your permission, but, I'll come back with
Information
something,
will
just to
dig
get you
into.
some information. I think it's a worthwhile program, the HTB, seeing as how there's government just allowed, for 60,000 more of them to come to work in America. And a lot of them come from the Dominican Republic or Jamaica. It's in any, Hispanic country in, Central or South America. So, I think it's,
It's all about getting people to show up.
well, consistency, and we've tried hiring regular people, and our results have been dismal.
Yeah. And I've seen sometimes, remember when, it was never as good as with Pete Trotta.
Pete Trotta.
Pete Trotta was
Oh,
the
right.
man.
He
Because he rode herd on
He
it.
was like
Yeah.
the overseer.
Right.
Yeah, but, and he,
made a big difference.
yeah,
So.
Trotta
I
won't be able.
think we have that capability now with a couple of people we've hired, but.
And not only just bathrooms, they can help
Well, they-
clean the park.
They hauled that, they hauled.
They
it down there,
do,
John.
and
Yeah.
they,
There'll be a job description, location, all the stuff that I would normally do with the second chance, preparation for each season. So we can put that together, you know, so everybody can understand it and kind of go from there.
all right,
Sounds
cool.
good.
Trustee Root, do you have anything to add?
I saw the tree pits look very nice. If that's what you call them, tree pits.
Tree pits, well,
With-
raised tree beds,
Oh,
yeah.
With trees in it
With
even?
yeah, we got 4,
Yep.
honey locusts.
Yeah, it looked nice.
They had no leaves on them, but
Well,
they're
Bill,
gonna be little tiny leaves.
looks a lot better than it did before.
It does, and I've seen, I now that I'm in tune to it, I see them all over the place,
Yeah.
and that we gotta, I mean, I wanna fill the tree pits with trees. Maybe, you know, we have more than one variety of trees that we've been recommended as far as street trees go, but it's a good start.
Is
We got
that
4 of them
con-
in.
Is that concrete gonna be surfaced?
We're gonna
Anyway?
put bricks on it,
Oh, nice.
at least on the front underneath the cap.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how many bricks we can fit under the other two. The other two, we didn't raise up as high. They were kind of just being repaired from what they
Yeah.
were.
One of them's the sidewalk level, pretty much.
Yeah. But the moving forward, are more indicative of the one furthest south. It's high, kind of like
Right.
you can
Seat
sit
level,
on it,
seat
seat
height.
level. What's gonna be better than eating an ice cream cone under the shade tree in Lake George?
Oh,
Nothing better than that.
can't wait.
Joe, you got anything?
No, nothing really as of yet. I mean,
Yeah, no.
we haven't had any snow.
No
we haven't
storm
had
to
any-
report on.
Yeah, yeah, well, our streets haven't washed out and, you know.
We got lucky there.
McDonald's didn't flood over, and, you know.
Leaves are picked up.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess our.
Leaves are picked up.
Couple
Our-
piles, late piles. I mean, after our cleanup, we,
Decent amount of Farmville, the weather conducive.
Yeah.
I'll stay on.
Cooper Street needs a pickup. It's kind of blocking half of a lane.
What's that?
On Cooper Street's a new pile.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You must have snuck that in.
They did just the other, I saw the guy doing it yesterday.
But, no, I mean, you know, our water, new water system that runs underneath the old McDonald's property seems to be working well.
Everything's going well so far.
No floods in the parking lot,
So.
so.
And it's. That facility. Which it was.
Yeah,
Not like what we've seen in the past, of course, but the owner needs to be more responsible of his. Their surroundings and what he's got going down there.
so his things were flooding over, backing up because they were
Because it's got
filled,
debris.
Yeah, his leaves are washing in there
Yeah,
probably.
debris.
but it had nothing to do with us backing up though.
No,
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 So-
everything, was, you know.
Our
I did
hands are
all-
clean.
I reviewed all the outfalls that we do with the MS4. And all of them were doing just what they should have been doing, so we're, you know, in lieu of the amount of water we had.
that water was washing out like
I'm happy.
crazy underneath Helen Street, so
Yeah.
didn't even see
Oh,
it
yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Trustee Miller? you have anything?
Do we have anyone cleaning up the trash on the streets in the fall and the winter time? I've just seen a lot of like beer cans and trash as I've been walking around, so I don't know what.
It says it's noticed, we don't really have people on foot, we could implement something like that. Oh, we do?
Okay,
Well, it's probably not today.
Mhm. Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah,
But-
but on a regular basis, yeah, we have.
They're always driving around. You're always driving around looking, cleaning, picking up.
Okay.
And if not, it's me, I pick up my neighborhood.
And then that happened.
Need a
And-
road sign.
I can bring
This
it up
area.
to John.
Yeah.
Homes, just to see, you know, make sure you got people out there, but I think on a regular basis, that's what they're.
You know, pallets on the sidewalk, you know, just to take it, you know.
maybe somebody walked around and had a really good party at some point, and then I walked behind them.
They were dropping things as you were
Yeah,
following them.
who knows? And then the other question I was gonna ask, we're starting to do budget talks January, right? So I've met with my two people that I need to meet with, but we're all the commissioner of the firehouse, or how did,
Well, the
were
fire,
you assigned each of us?
yeah, the fire budget is, we won't probably see until. I don't know, when do we normally see the fire budget? It's
Just before.
just before ours. The fire budget is actually in good shape, but yeah, we could all discuss the fire budget.
Well, does anyone need to meet with them? Because I know you said you wanted everyone to meet with their specific.
Yeah, I'll probably
department.
just take
You're
that
just gonna meet
into,
with them.
yeah,
That's what
meet
I
with
wanted to
Brandon and
Make sure we're not putting it to the wayside.
Donnie?
well, Donnie would, but she's got, they have their own budget that's not controlled by us. But yeah, Brandon's got his
Barber.
budget, Collier. Mr. Fisher. Yeah, I usually meet with him, so who I met with last year.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll keep the trend about trash going. Do we have any word on the compactor?
I know Keith was gonna look for pricing on the, to lease one.
We got some brochures. There was one gentleman, I think, from Manans came up. And I think it was the day I was out. And John and Dale grabbed the information from him. And I think the last conversation was, were we going to consider a seasonal lease, 6 months lease? As opposed to buying it outright when you know, we don't really have much of a use for it on the off season. So I don't know where that went. John followed up on that or not.
I had seen
I
a
could see
few.
being used for leaves and.
I could see it being used for a lot of things, but it's basically a piece of equipment that you would mount on a dual wheeled.
Well, that was one,
350.
yeah, that's one version. That was actually a small capability, capacity.
Think too small?
Yeah, because that was a 4-yard hopper, and I think for us, if you go in that direction, we would use 6 to 8
Okay.
cubic yards. That would probably take care of every day, you know, we have everything picked up and you wouldn't have 15 trucks and people going those things every year.
Yeah, touching it once.
Correct, yeah. But again, maybe looking at if they have the capability for us to do a lease, or at least purchase it.
Yeah.
Something along those. So, again, we'll get John back on board with that as well.
Okay, yeah, now's the time to try to lock something like that down.
Yep,
Maybe improve the way we pick up our waste.
yeah, because I know a lot of those companies, they have them in stock. But, so I think there could be the capabilities of getting one sooner than later.
Yeah.
We can get prices in before our budget, so.
Yep, we should
see if
probably
we
try to
can
get them,
Allocate it somewhere.
in the next month, maybe for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But like, I mean, but I could see it being used in the fall and the spring for cleanups. For the cleanups, stuff like that, instead of, you know, backhoe to pick up trucks and stuff like that. If they're bagged, especially,
Yeah, it'd be a bag situation. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really think that
yeah,
worked well.
backhoeing it
Just
in.
on the back of
Yeah.
the hopper truck, yeah. Well, but we still have the leaf back and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else, so. We're in good, condition with all that kind of equipment.
yeah, it just, it seems, the garbage could be better, because it seems
Yeah.
like rather than pick it out of the can, put it into a truck,
Yeah,
take it out of the truck and put it into a dumpster, and
And
then
then have a
down,
dumpster.
pay the town $9,000 a year to take it away for us.
Right.
It seems like we could better utilize that. It's a better image too, especially when it rains, you see the bags being.
With specs bleed out.
Yeah, and when they could just take it and throw it,
Well, and yeah,
rather than throwing it over their
it's
head
safer
into it.
for the guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah, so I think it's been,
Yeah.
If I made one more
Sure.
whack at it, came to mind during this conversation, during my travels down the sidewalks. I go by the Dilly Gap, I think it's the closest one to Pablo's. The lights in that window are so bright, it's
I
close.
noticed
It's kinda
that,
like,
yeah.
And, you know, why do they have to have that place lit up a year round? I don't know.
And someone else pointed out the blue lights or purple lights at the,
Dan doesn't like those.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he looked, there is nothing in our code.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're doing a comprehensive plan, we'll address it.
And he has it, and also, the other Dilly Gap, they have their tripod sign, or whatever, their sign up when they're closed. So they got that out in the middle of the sidewalk, even though they're closed.
I think he was doing weekends, I'm not certain.
This was during the week, but
Yeah.
it's a shame that light is so bright and the place is closed, and it's like all the stores next to them are dark, but that one's like this beacon of,
I think we can do something with lumens or, candle power.
yeah, you know which one I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
do, I've seen it. But yeah, we don't have anything in the code now, but
Just
we can add it.
Just planting a seed.
Yep, no, it's a good idea. All right, I've got nothing else. How about the public? Nope, nope.
Want to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I guess
Happy
we-
Festivus.
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
Merry
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh, she
Yeah.
had a reminder of January.
We need the first
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah, the January meetings it's January 22nd rather than the 15th. Because the 15th is Martin Luther King Day.
so great Christmas.
See you.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
You'll see me.
One thing.
Are we-
Yeah, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So ordered.
Joe?
Next meeting, the 22nd, right, guys?
Yes.
Next meeting is the 22nd.
I won't be pregnant anymore,
You won't be.
so
You have a reason to celebrate.
I'm gonna just stop the recorder.
Yep, you can. I'm going to.
Hopefully.
Just end.
You off?
Really bad. I was.
We got.
That would be terrible if you were.